Hello and welcome. We're here today to talk about getting your engines and wagons, cars, if you will, back onto Hype Train. If you were like me, you installed Hype Train and you put your conductor's uniform on and you ran down to grab a train and try out the trains, and were quite surprised to find that there were no wagons or engines or trains of any sort to be found on the map at all. Just for understanding's sake, as we go into this, the wagons and engines, trains, if you will, were removed because they were map objects. So for most people, it's not that easy to remove a map object from the map. You have to use editor, and it requires some extra work, and it can get a little in deep, for just installing a mod, just to play with. So they were removed and kind of left you with, if you, I believe, if on the Hype Train Steam workshop for the Hype Train, if you download the events there, they're basically just like converted accident events that spawn in a Hype Train, and you may have gotten those to work. You may have not. If you didn't get those to work and you pretty much followed, the instructions to the T and kind of knew what you were doing, and you couldn't find them using ESP tools, that's probably the reason, because you were looking for where the event happened with the ESP tools, which you can't see the trains with the ESP tools because somehow they're still kind of considered buildings, so there's kind of an issue with that. But I'm sure the author's working on a lot of that, and there's a little bit of issues with the trains, but all in all, they're really solid and they're nice, and it's a really cool addition to the game. So let's take a look, and I've created some files that will, through a lot of work and a lot of logging in and out, we've managed to get all of your cars back on the map in a few states, either the static ones back that are spawning loot or all working, and a hybrid of the two. So let's take a look at what we got, and we'll get right into this. In this, we're going to kind of assume that you know what you're doing. So you'll find in this version that uh, we're going to just talk about, what this does. We're not really going to get into the file explanation of how to install them. We may do that later in the video or in another video, but I'm not going to do that, right away. This is just for mostly people who kind of know what they're doing and they just want to get right to work on this. So, that being said, we're just going to go right into the events folder here that you've got installed now, and we're going to turn on this working engines. We're going to show you the difference between the four sets: A, B, C, and the D sets, and what they're doing. So with the A set, you're going to get all working engines, and so with that, we're going to, once we click save with that, we're going to go ahead and reboot that and get that rebooting. Yeah, wonderful. And we'll wait a minute. Come back in. And it's going to take a little bit longer than that. Come back in. And what I'll do is just show you the difference. The differences between the static and the working trains are minimal, and then we'll get into the couple hybrid sets, and those are kind of easily explainable to what's going on. Apologize, it's taken extremely a long time this round. Here we go. Okay, so once you turn that back on, we should come right back in and have a train. There, yes, and there we are. And you've seen that. We just all we did is simply turn on the switch. That put trains everywhere on the map where they're supposed to be. With the all trains, and that's what we're going to talk about here. With the all trains situation, it's actually going to put all trains on the map, which is, if you can see on the map here, this train where we're at is kind of sitting on what I consider a main line. If you were to turn into the industrial part of Chernogrodsky, so on the more we'll call it the hybrid version of this for the working trains, this train was moved, so I moved this train over to here. But with this set that you have on, this is all trains working. It's pretty much just a test set. So this is all the trains that I have that spawn on the map, and we can just use that to make sure that the trains are working and spawning correctly. Just to show you, these are working trains. Just to go a little further into it. So when we go to the other set, the train that's on the other track that we were looking at before will be removed, and this is its replacement. While we're here, going into that further, when we go into a set where one of the engines will randomly spawn and only a few cars will be real, to kind of make this work for the game, to the actual game, these cars here will be a static set, so they won't be able to be moved either, and this will be your loot cars instead of on the main track, which is what makes sense. So that's what we did there. Just to take a little look around while we have the working trains on, just to kind of show you that they're on and that we've turned them on. We'll take a look at just a couple other little spots real quick. Actually, what we'll do really fast, and it makes the most sense to show you right while we're showing you this one, is we'll show you the train that's here somewhere. We're going to guess right here. Man, I always call this wrong. It's up there, but let's jump a little further up the track here. I don't know why I always miscall this. I should know it's right at this corner. This is another train that you'll find that, as you see right here, we're going to take a look. This is another real working train. Of course, they all are. They're all back on the map where they belong. In again, in the all working train state, that's all working trains. That even includes trains I built to replace trains. So you can see this is the main line. It's on the main line. So we've moved this train in the set that you'll turn on to be a usable set. That train is moved to here. And again, this train will become a static train in the event you're using the hybrid situation where you're only going to have an engine or two spawning around in a few cars. That way they're not moving all your loot economy cars. Your cars that are part of the central economy that are spawning loot, which makes the most sense. And again, just to fly around, we'll just to quickly take a look around. You see that all your cars are back pretty much where they are. You'll find that a couple of engines have been pulled away. I had problems when I was putting them in to get them to spawn. Some of them it's so close to the other cars, as there are different spawns, and you have to have the minimum distance rating set, or you run into the situation where you have multiple cars spawning on top of each other. But we'll just keep going here, and I'm going to look at one more spot. They're all there, but we'll look at one more major spot for you and talk about that, and then that will be pretty much it for the flying around on this part of it. So Zelengradsky, uh, we know that there's a lot of trains here. So let's take a look and just see that all our trains are here. This is going to take a second just for them. See, you see, they come in. They wouldn't come in like that normally. Obviously, we're just flying in, so they would be here before you got here. You're not going to have that, but you can see it's fairly stable. That's going to happen here. We'll give it a second. Okay, here we are, and there they all are. Now I haven't put back, as you can see. You can see these are all working cars as they should be. We are in the working set. This isn't the working set you would use to play with, though. That would be set C to play with. That would be that we move those two trains that are on what I consider the main line off the main line and replace them with the two trains I showed you. But these are all working cars. So now we're going to go to a new situation. From here, we're going to log out again real quick. Show you how easy this is. We're going to go right to the events. We're going to turn these working cars off. Working engines off. Working wagons off. We're going to turn on static versions that don't move. Stay. Save. Sure we got that correctly. Now what I would do, and actually I'm going to change this for you, just as a precaution, what you should do is, and I would show you this, but I kind of like um, the fact that when you do this, it actually shows your Steam ID in the server. So I'm not going to actually show you the the booting of it, maybe a little bit when it comes up. I can show you the spot quickly, maybe before it comes up. That it what we've set that to 0 and rebooted it, because the first thing it's going to do is come in here and we'll just delete all these cars. You don't actually have to log back in for that to happen, but once you turn that event off, when it comes back in here and it starts to read the mission, it's going to realize that there's a difference between the saved events and the events that are on. And since it's going to get rid of all those events that it saved, because you'll see it come up here in a second. I'm going to put it down just because my Steam ID comes up, and I don't want to put that. You see that right there, all that damaged, where it's a damaged Steam damage, that's the cars being removed, because what it's seeing is there's a difference between what it has as an event and the events that are on. So it removes those saved events, and it's, for it just sees it as damaged. It's not a match. So now with that I've done that. Now we'll go back and we'll turn on set B, and we'll just set B to active. We just want to make sure we're on set B and set B, and there's two sets for this one as well. And again, these are all static, so this will be even the moving cars. This is again just kind of a test one, just to make sure that all your cars are working. This isn't any different than any other, because they're set as groups, and I'll show you that shortly. This is mostly for people that just want in and out. We'll get more into depth as we go, but this is just for people who want to get in and out and maybe just run some trains. They're not looking to completely understand this in that way. Just set their trains up and go. So once we've done that, we just want to make sure that we reset the server. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I did. When that disappears, it's just going into the thing. I'm just using what they call tray it. It's nice. You can throw things in the tray, keep them out of your taskbar. It's an really old program. It's a nice little program. It's free. There's not even actually install. It just runs, or it's not running. There's no installation to it. It either does what it does or it doesn't. It's kind of cool, as you can see. You just set stuff into tray. Nice little side thing while we're waiting. Okay, let's try to get back in. Yeah, and you just want to set those to zero to make sure it kind of ensures that there won't be a collision between the incoming and the outgoing things. It's trying to set those while it's trying to erase it or something. I don't know. It seems like sometimes I had a few problems if I didn't do it first. I mean, generally, you're not going to do this a whole lot. Probably no one's going to be doing it as much as I've done it in the last few days trying to build all this. Or last few days, last few months, let me say, to do this. But, the cars will stay. I have them currently set to be in here for 30 days. So now you can see we're all around the map, everywhere there should be a car. These are now static cars. You can see that these are not working cars. These are cars that just contain loot, and you can see they are already spawning loot. You know what I mean? They already have loot on them. I have some other mods on this server, just to just that I was trying it with other mods to see what would work. But these trains automatically spawn loot. Now I haven't dealt with that. Like I said, I haven't put in the train boxes on that. You're welcome to do that. I was just trying to get your cars back for you. Maybe in future I'll get deeper into it. I don't know. Maybe somebody else will do it and put it out for us. Where I felt like I just wanted to get this done and get the majority of this done because I know somebody's going to try to kill themselves. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it took a lot of my skills. I actually wrote a program to get around some of this. That wrote some of this program, but we'll just teleport another place just to show you that they're all been replaced. Let's go back to another place that we've already been just to see. Here we'll even look. Even your tankers are here, of course, where they belong. They're fake now. They were real in the other version. We never made it around that far, but we're not going to check every single spot and show you. They're there. Trust me. I've sat here for days under this bridge making sure that these cars spawned everywhere as they should, and they do. And you see they do. If you have problems with one not spawning when you first spawn them in, again, you're not going to probably do that a whole lot, and they stay for 45 days, and that's 45 days, from the time it was interacted with to the time no one's interacted with it. So if I interact with this train right now and don't for 45 days, it will despawn, but other than that, it's not going to despawn. Somebody interacts with it, gets up here, messes with it. You can see this is a static train. You can't get into it, nothing like that. Okay, that's that. So let's move on. It's gonna stay 45 days though. Is where I have it set. Of course, you're more than welcome to change all those. That would just be changing, and that's kind of simple because that's just going to be changing that one event, not all the trains. You're just, right here, you're just going to change that. You would change this number if you wanted to stay longer or not as long. Just going to change that lifetime right there. I believe that's in seconds, so that's about 45 days for the seconds there. So we're going to look at set C. Set C, we're actually not even going to look at set C. Set C basically is just all the working cars, but not the ones that were moved, not the train I was just on that's in the way. Those two trains that are on the main line, it will leave just the moved trains for your understanding. So, there are trains on of course, there are trains on the rails, but I'm talking about the main line, the line that goes all the way that you can go do a big circle. If there were those two trains were in the way of doing the big circle, and not even so much the Chernarus under the bridge train. You could actually go around if you went north of Industrial. You could go around that train, but I just felt like it was in their way, and to play with the train and to be in the industrial area where you might want to set up a base or something. I felt that train was in the way, so I did move that one. And so what we're going to do. And again, set C is what you want for the working trains. It moves those two trains off and basically puts all working trains in wagons. What we're going to look at now is set D, which is, I feel, the set that, majority of people are going to want. This is where it's at. So set D, you're going to turn this on. Actually, what we're going to do first, real quick, I'll talk about this more, but what we want to do is what I talked about before. We want to set these to zero. Don't let me forget that. And reboot the server. You just have a little better luck with that. We'll reboot this server while we're talking about this a little bit. So, and set D, when we get this going, we're going to turn this on, and we can do that now because that's saved and it's already doing what it's saved. We just won't say that. We get that done. So there's only one red engine in the game, and now this is the one that's going to be on the dock. Again, the ones that we're not going to put any cars back on the main line because this is still going to have working engines. So the red train that was on the dock that I moved off under the Chernal Bridge is the only train. So having this one spawn a real car, which you can see it does right here with the Max 1 or Max 1 thing, there's a 50-50 chance that it will spawn a car. I mean, I suggest you don't turn this one on because you know what I mean. That's all on you, but it's a 50-50 shot. There's going to be a car there, so a high likelihood that's, I mean, not a car, a working engine there, and I don't know that you would want that, but it's just because there's only one. And of course, you can add more trains or more things, and I'll show you how to do that later. But I mean, as far as the what we want to call the vanilla version of where cars are, minus the two cars I moved off the train because those just aren't going to function like that. The rest of the cars are vanilla and they're where they should be and they're the right colors in this set. So in my sets, so whatever else you do, it's here. You can change it, and we'll show you how. But we'll turn that event on now, just to show you that event is working. And this is all the blue ones, so all the rest of them are blue ones. There are 11 engines, standard engines that were on the map. It's hard to believe there were that many, huh? You just didn't pay attention to the engines that much, to the trains in general. I mean, unless you came across one, you more paid attention to the ones that were accidents more than anything. But now, with them all being gone, it really left an empty world, didn't it? Okay, so then we're going to turn on your static wagons, which is all the wagons are going to be static everywhere they are. And that's the way that I set that up. Of course, again, I'll show you how to change maybe some of the end ones if you wanted to do that into working, but that's not how I did that in this example. In this example, I just took 5 new trains, and I'll show you where a few of them are. 5 new cars, and just set them randomly throughout the world. They're not part of the actual set that were there. Those will all remain in this setting and stay where they belong. That doesn't involve any of the cars that belong in the map becoming real. These are 5 new cars to make a complete train. So basically, this gives you this right here. And again, I don't suggest this one, just because it's a 50-50 chance. There's almost always going to be a working train here. This will basically give you, if you don't turn that one on, one engine and 5 working cars scattered throughout the map. And that's kind of the way I see it working best. Of course, the world is your oyster. I just got you something you can work with here. You can change this however you want, but it's how I seen it working best. 2 trains on the map just doesn't seem like that works to me. And it, trains are going to be a hard thing. Somebody's coming with a train, you know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to attack that train. It's going to be a war over it. Maybe somebody ends up with it for a while, but it's going to keep getting tossed around. So that's just the way I seen it working. So as far as in a real map. So if you want, and I wanted to try to incorporate this into the real map, and this is my thought process for how it would work. Of course, again, you're welcome to change this any way you want, and you'll see how. And I've made it pretty easy. So let's turn these on now. Click save. We got all 4 on. 1, 2, 3. Or just because I was talking when I do this, and I don't pay that much attention when I do. So let's get this going, and then we'll take a look around and we'll show you what's going on here with this. Basically, this is mostly just all static. And then where the working trains spawn are in place of one of the trains that are normally there will become a real blue train. And of course, that red one has a 50-50 shot. And we'll take a look at that as soon as we get in here. So let's go right in. I say right in, but we'll see how right in it actually is. And this will pretty much be what we're going to talk about for this set or this series. I may just turn around and turn this right into how to install it, but I think it would probably be best broken off into something separate, a little simpler, you know, to find and to reference if you need to reference it. I have found in the course of my learning all this stuff, you go back and reference these videos a lot, and I hope this is helpful for you. I hope it you enjoy it, and I had a lot of fun with it. So of course there's not a train here, which makes sense. There shouldn't be because this is the one we moved, and so we're going to go right over to the red train because in this situation it actually works out good as a showpiece because of the fact there's a 50-50 shot that it's real. So we're going to go head right over there, and again, we know where that's at. It's just around the corner. So basically that working train has just been pulled around down here, around the corner down here, out of the way. And this train will spawn loot, and these cars will not move. So this is the new train to replace that. And it will spawn loot. You can see it's already got loot in it. Just so you know too, sometimes when you switch between I don't know if I actually have these set to loot. This is, yeah, they are set to loot because these trains aren't part of that. So you can see this loot in here. The static trains will automatically give you loot. I don't have the actual hype train set to do that. I was trying to figure out a way, but I'm having problems getting the loot to sit on the top. I haven't really got delve into working on that. I will, but as you can see, I was really busy trying to get these up. Now this looks like this could possibly be a working car, which again 50-50. See how high the likelihood is that that's a working train. That is a working train, but again, none of the cars are, and you can tell that because they have. You see, you can't engage the brakes there. It's not a working car, so those are not working cars. So let's take another trip around the map here and just see, and we'll take a look and see if we can't find just to skip around and check, see if we can't find here's the blue train up here. Actually there's one missing from this. It doesn't spawn. Maybe could be a little bit of something with it. I can't remember if I set that one in here. There actually is usually in the standard map. I believe there's supposed to be an engine at the end of there. It's missing. Not a huge deal. I don't know why it's missing. This is not a real train. I can tell just by how he's climbing on it. He's trying to climb onto the rail. Again, so see if you see what I'm saying though. This puts all your cars back, and this is not what I consider the main line. Some people might, but I don't. I consider this the main line, and the reason why is if you look at exactly where we are on this track, if you follow it straight, that is the main line. It's the actual main line. So the main line is clear. You can travel all the way around in a circle around Chinaris in this setting, and you will find that one of these blue trains, now I don't know that I'm going to sit here and, find it, but I probably have the best chance of finding it right away for you because I know exactly where every train is on this map. There's actually a set wherever the forest stuff is here off to the side. Not here. I'm too far. See, but you can see all your cars are back. I mean, it's a good kind of a fly around to see that, there's all your static cars where they belong. And these are also here in the real setting. If you use set C again, mainline clean. It's a nice setting, but so you can see that there's an engine up here I'm running for. Again, I know where every, trust me, right now, I just completed this not long ago. I know where every single train and car is and just about how many there are at each location. So let's see if this is a working one for us. This is the working engine. Here it is. We found it. And that's it. Um, just to show you a couple more to show you that they're not working. I believe there's an engine back here somewhere. Yeah, here's one. There's usually two here, but that second one kind of it's hit or miss where that spawns. It's so close. But yeah, see, this one again is not a real engine. Also, in addition to this, we'll show you that so the engines are spawning where they should. We're also going to show you that there are a few working cars around the world, and you can put your own in. Um, we'll show you how in the next episode, but I just want to show you that part of one of the things that we clicked on was that there are some working cars in the world. Actually, there were five of them as part of that series. They should be sitting right here. No, I'm in the wrong spot here. There's a couple here. There's a few spread out. So these are actually working cars. See, and these cars aren't actually part of the game, so they don't affect anything. But there's a few of these randomly just placed throughout the world too, so that when you have your working engine, you have some cars to go with it that you can find, throughout the world, here and there, and you can place your own, and we'll show you how to do that in the next episode. But I think we're gonna leave the episode right here, and I appreciate you watching, and we hope to catch you in the next episode. And once again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. See ya.